What is up, you guys? This is All Day 1 on the PS4, and I'm going to be giving you an Omega build set video for Loki. So let's go ahead and take a look at his inventory. So you're going to want to have three different sets. You're going to want to have 3 pieces of Dormammu's Embrace. You're going to want to have 1 piece of Frozen Stone and 1 piece of Ancient Shroud of Khonshu. The reason why you want 3 pieces of Dormammu's Embrace is so that way you can get up to that 3rd perk when you use a firepower, call upon a living flame of the faulting to attack enemies, dealing 21,017 damage twice per second for 8 seconds, 20-second cooldown. The reason why you want the Frozen Stone for the 1 piece is because after you use a signature or your signature, your next ice power triggers permafrost, dealing 33,665 damage and freezing all targets for 1.5 seconds. The last thing is Ancient Shroud of Khonshu. So the reason why you want this is because it says when you use a staff power against an elite or higher enemy, gain the Blessing of Khonshu, increasing damage against elites and bosses by 40% for 10 seconds. So this is going to help you with boss fights generally. That's what the Ancient Shroud of Khonshu is mainly for. So with the So anyways, with the legendary item I went with was Neptune's Trident, because mainly I do have summons, but you can use either Neptune's Trident or you can use Warlock's Eye. Either or works perfectly fine. Warlock's Eye would probably be a better choice to use overall for multiple different builds, just because it gives a higher value or higher well-rounded value, I suppose. But Neptune's Trident, if you're focused primarily on your summons, then this is going to help you a lot. Plus, if you can get up to that rank 4, that'll help you with survivability, because you'll be able to heal yourself and allies pretty often. So, and then my medallion that I went with is Caecilius Medallion. When you hit with a magic power, gain 1007 damage to magic powers for 10 seconds. Now, you can either go with this, which you get this Caecilius Medallion from Dimensions Collide, or you can get Malekith's Medallion, which heals you 150 health per tick on magic ticks damage over time. And you can get Malekith's Medallion from the Malekith event or Malekith boss fight, or both the boss fights, but regardless you're going to be able to get it from him in Chapter 9, Lower Asgard. And then for my relic, I went with Relic of Gibram for the 200 spirit, mainly because Loki is a pretty spirit hungry character. He doesn't have anything that can give him spirit back, except if you have a catalyst that can give you your spirit back, then this will help, because it'll say regenerate 25% of your health up to 3,100 spirit when you use a medkit. So that, I'm just letting you know, that would definitely help you out a whole bunch. Also, if you can get the Cosmic Affix with gain a damage shield equal to 50% of your max health when you use a medkit, that'll also help to be a good combo with the two. And then for my artifacts, I wouldn't necessarily go with the Hand of Doom unless that's the only other choice you have. I went with Magneto's right t-shirt. You definitely want to try to get this, because you can get 3 durability and 2 intelligence with crit hit, ranged powers, deflect rating, and you can also get 3 to 5% less damage taken from area powers. So you're not going to be worrying about the ranged powers too much, because you're not going, well, you have your magic abilities that are tagged as ranged, but your main ability, the one that you're going to be using most of the time, is not ranged, it's melee. And then the Broken Crown, you get Broken Crown from completing the story mode on Chapter 9 for defeating Loki. You can go from 1 to 4 intelligence. It'll also give you bonus damage to magic powers, crit hit, and brutal strike rating increase. When your health drops below 30%, become invisible and summon a horde of Loki illusions for 3 seconds. And then for the 3rd artifact, the one I would generally go for would be something like Circlet of Sidorak, or Advanced Circlet of Sidorak, I mean. That can give you up to 3 durability and a shield when you get hit. You can also go with Modok's Headband, which can give you up to 5 intelligence, and it'll also let you do a blast. I think there's the Sophalon Beam, I think that's what it's called. Let me check. I have it on magic, pretty sure, because this is what it would do. Yeah, so I have it on here. So +2 to all attributes, crit hit rating. When you hit with the power, recover 2 spirit. When you hit with the power, regenerate 20 health, and 586 damage rating to summon powers. That would definitely help him out a lot. You can get the Sophalon beam from Ultron in the first mission. I completely forgot what it's called. And yeah, there's a bunch of other abilities or other artifacts that you can honestly use for Loki, which is really good. Now, onto his abilities. The abilities I went with was Hard Light, Cold Snap, or Hard Light is on triangle, Cold Snap is on L2 square, Eternal Flame is on L2X, Unyielding Power, your signature on L2 triangle, Spatial Deception on X, Cold Front on L2 circle, because it's your dash or your teleport, Illusionary Projection on circle, and then Infernal Binding on square. So another thing is Spatial Deception is a staff ability, but I'm not going to be using Mark of War because Mark of War, I mean, it is 20 stacks, but Spatial Deception doesn't hit that fast to get those 20 stacks, and your projections also do not give you, they don't give you the, what's it called, the stacks towards your Mark of War, unfortunately. And they are considered ranged characters too, so keep that in mind. That's why it also won't work for you to build that up. And so for my talents, I went with Maker of Mischief. Base damage, you get 25% summon power damage. Summon duration, 25%. Maximum illusions, you can get up to 3. Frost Nova it basically turns your dash into an ice shield, ice armor. Light Column, it turns permafrost spikes into hard light, which with hard light, what it does, it'll make your enemies more vulnerable. So it'll make them vulnerable for 10%, which is the original, and then another 20% damage received from your illusions. So that means your illusions, your summons, will do 30% damage against enemies affected by hard light spikes. And then Infernal Bindings. So the reason why I use Infernal Binding is because the damage over time is actually really nice. It's really strong, and it does immobilize enemies, but it only immobilizes them for 1 second, which is unfortunate, but other than that, it's still really good. And then Cold Front. Misdirection, it transforms into Cold Front. Cold Front, this is the one I'm talking about. This is the one that turns into Ice Armor. This one, Frost Nova, turns Asgardian Light, your healing ability, it turns it into a Cold Snap, which will freeze enemies. So, let's go to my Infinities. So all the points I put into, I put 4 points into durability, and then the rest into my spirit, so that way I can have 400. I can have enough spirit to keep myself sustained. And then for my synergies, I went with Beast, Black Bolt, Doctor Strange, Hawkeye, Hulk, Loki. I should probably switch Hulk out with Ghost Rider actually for a little more fire damage. Loki, Luke Cage, Magic, Rocket Raccoon, and Squirrel Girl. So let's go ahead and take a look at all these abilities. So this is what Spatial Deception looks like, and every time you hit, you summon a projection that'll also hit as well. I don't know why they count as range when they're clearly not ranging, they're melee, but then you had Infernal Binding on square. It does damage over time to multiple enemies, a nice big group of AoE. Hard Light, and then when your enemies are affected by Hard Light, they take more damage from your projections and yourself. And then you've got the L2X, It's kind of like Ghost Rider's abilities, and what's nice about this is you can summon up to 3 of these, and only 3. It won't let you summon another until one of them is worn out. And then you have L2 Square, which is a freeze. It freezes a lot of enemies in a really big area too. And then you have L2 Triangle, which is your signature. It does damage over time to nearby enemies. And then when you use that, so just like with what's that? The Frozen Stone. So after using your signature, you get that permafrost. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's that giant permafrost that spawned right here. Sometimes the permafrost will normally be at a random enemy. If you hit a big group of enemies, it'll spawn on one of those random enemies. But it does a lot of damage, and it's a pretty big AoE ability as well. So this is what everything would look like when you're using it all together. So I normally summon and then use hard light right away, freeze, and drop it. I try to drop all 3 of the fire, and try to keep your summons as much as possible. Every time you see the cooldown done, use the summons and then use hard light as well. And then cooldown, the signature, permafrost, and then you got everything going on for you. The damage is actually really good too. It's probably not the best idea to use. I'm not gonna say it's not the best idea to use it in patrol, because you can still do good in patrol and not die. It's hard being a melee character in patrol, so I would understand why you wouldn't want to do this, or at least in patrol. But all in all, this in operations and whatnot, I've been able to clear operations pretty fast with Loki, so with this particular build. But that's pretty much it with Loki and his Omega build. If this video helped you at all, go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions or concerns or suggestions, let me know down in the comment section, or you can message me on Twitter at alldannyday1. And that's it. This is All Danny Day 1 on the PS4. Have a good day, good night, and peace.